Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope that wherever you are in the world you're having a great weekend so far and you're looking forward to this IELTS class, which is focusing on speaking part 3. Adventure travel, a fun topic for the weekend. We just finished part 2 speaking live class half an hour ago, and of course that was on the topic of an adventure that I would like to go on, or that you would like to go on. We had some volunteers talking about an adventure to going to the Great Barrier Reef and of course to the Himalayas. So kind of fun topics, and part 3 is a continuation of part 2. So it's very important to remember that in the IELTS speaking section you have 3 parts. Part 1 will be some general questions to get to know you better, questions about hobbies, sports, music, and the like. And part 2 will be much more specific. It will be about an object, a person, place, event, or an idea where you have to talk for 2 minutes on a specific topic, like going on an adventure. And then part 3 connects to part 2. So in this case, for this example today, adventure travel. Welcome Jeanette, Zvipi, Arkna, Shahnaz, Rakwea, Akira, Ridham, Lam, Just Fun, question mark. Nice to see all of you here with me in today's class. Everybody, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Visit us there. For general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. These are the websites that we use in these classes regularly to help you improve your English and help you reach success on the IELTS exam. This is aehelp.com. You can click this big red button there to join our premium IELTS package just above my head. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. We're an IDP affiliate. We're a British Council partner, an IELTS test registration center. And again, just click this big red button. Go through the payment process. Use the discount code LEARN10 for a 10% discount. And you're off to the races. The course, again, it's a one-time payment. It doesn't cost a lot, and in different countries you have different prices depending on the local economy. So check that out. General IELTS, gieltshelp.com, green background. Click that big red button. Make sure you know whether you are learning for the general or the academic IELTS. The speaking is the same for both, and they are marked the same for both. There's the discount code again for you to use. Our apps and your app stores are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. And our Instagram profiles are IELTS_AHelp, GIELTS Help. Check that out. If you've got questions about our products, the IELTS exam, send us an email, adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. And if you want a paper hard copy textbook, which, you know, some people still like to use, and I think it's for exams it's not a bad idea, you can search Amazon for AEhelp's Academic IELTS and GE Help's General IELTS. Students, January 7th to the 14th, we've got speaking part 3 right now. Tomorrow we'll have a special class on Discord. There's the link. You have to set up your Discord app. It's if you don't know what it is, do a quick research on it. Then we've got a couple days off after that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I'm back on the 12th with speaking again for everybody. That will be speaking part 1. All right. We're releasing new videos all the time on the channel, so we've got one coming up for you in the next couple of days. Check out, in the meantime, this one for IELTS speaking, karaoke style. Andrew, tomorrow's class will be a little bit different using a Discord. We'll use a voice channel, and we will talk with students and do a lot of Q&A, and we'll do a full speaking section there. All right, everybody. So subscribe to the channel, get notifications of all of this great IELTS learning that is going on with us regularly throughout the week. IELTS speaking part 3, arguably the most challenging part of the IELTS. I think many people feel it's part 2, the cue card, but I think part 3 is the most challenging because the questions are much more detailed. They require more thinking, more vocabulary, and really connected, good communication. Okay, so for part 3, you always want to think about answer plus explanation plus example. Okay, so the examiner will say that is the end of part 2. We will now continue with part 3. I will ask you a question related to your response and questions connected to the topic of part 2. Let's talk about adventure travel. Why do people like going on adventures in faraway places? Now, take a look at this Band 9 example that I'm going to give you using good strategy, right? So, I feel that adventurers like to go long distances, like thousands of kilometers, so that they can disconnect from their past life and really experience new cultures and nature. This is the reason why I feel that exploring Australia's Great Barrier Reef, 10,000 kilometers from my home in Victoria, would be the adventure of a lifetime. Okay, so take a look at this response, and I will explain to you why this is a Band 9. Okay, and again, students, this is speaking, so copy and repeat. So here's the question, repeat after me. Why do people like going on adventures in faraway places? I feel that adventurers like going long distances, like thousands of kilometers, so they can disconnect from their past life and really experience new cultures and nature. This is the reason why I feel that exploring Australia's Great Barrier Reef, 10,000 kilometers from my home in Victoria, would be the adventure of a lifetime. Okay, notice the paraphrasing. So the question says, going on adventures in faraway places. I feel that adventurers like going long distances. That's a perfect paraphrase. Now notice this quantification, thousands of kilometers. And then comes the explanation. They can disconnect from their past life and experience new cultures and nature. Okay. Then I give an example and connect to part 2. This is the reason I feel exploring Australia's Great Barrier Reef, because that's what I talked about in part 2. And I go 10,000 kilometers from my home in Victoria because that is the great distance. It's an adventure of a lifetime. Okay? So this is a Band 9 because it is accurate, detailed, original, connected. Okay? So when you're looking at the Band 9 criteria in the official IELTS speaking marking criteria, this response checks off every box in that Band 9 criteria. Okay? And that's why it's a Band 9. As long as you have good fluency and pronunciation, or fairly good pronunciation, you don't need perfect pronunciation, you're going to get a Band 9 for this answer. All right. And then comes a follow-up question. Now, students, is this clear? So do you have an idea now with this example sentence of what it takes for a band 9. Give me some thumbs up in the chat, and then we'll get straight into practice. So this is kind of our last class on YouTube for this week. Again, we have that Discord class tomorrow. So instead of me giving you answers, I want you to give me answers using our chat. Okay, and I'm going to get right into it nice and early today so we can take lots of examples and have lots of students practice with me today. Okay, I'm seeing lots of thumbs up from Jatinder, Mihir, Chayani, Andrew, Alexander, Sadeep, Zvipi, Rahman John. Fantastic. It's great that you are clear on what Band 9 answers require. You're going to learn more examples, more strategies and tips, and we will do this through group learning with each other. We've got lots more questions here to cover, and we can do this together by volunteering for speaking. Okay, so what you want to do is register an account. You can do this for free as well through the course on our website. I put the URL into the chat. Okay, that's the URL there. You log into your My Student account, and then you go to your student partner speaking. Once you're in your student partner speaking, you enable the microphone in your browser. You keep that window open. Okay, don't close it. And then you will see me. My handle is Master. You will see a blue envelope next to my handle, and then you can write, I want to volunteer. Okay? All right, let me show you this. So again, you can use gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. You can log in or create accounts with the red or the green button. The red button will enable you to access the premium course, which is a good idea. You got to pay a little bit of money, but it's worth it. And then you can also access it through our general IELTS, academic IELTS. I'm going to use this one, the academic IELTS. You can click this red button or the red button that you see after the video. And then once you're in the page, so once you've registered, you're in your My Student account. You see, like, you have computer-based practice exams. You've got 6 of those. You've got a full interactive course with 400 slides of strategies. Of course, this is all in the premium version of the course. You've got hundreds of lesson videos. You can even register for your IELTS exam. There's a red button like right behind me there. If you see that, you can register. Right now, we're actually using this button here. Okay, that's the button there that you see right above my head. It's the student partner speaking. And when you click on that, when you click on the student partner speaking, you accept the terms that you speak politely. You focus on IELTS here. This is not WhatsApp. It's not for chatting about the latest Avatar movie, although that could be part of your IELTS answer if we're asking you about your hobbies, right? So then you're in the chat here, and you see lots of amazing students from around the world who are studying English, studying IELTS, and have ambitions to live an awesome, happy life. We've got Mary, we've got Bimla, Romelia. Some of them, you see it says premium student next to their name. Those are the students, obviously, who are enjoying our premium package. And then you can volunteer. You can send me a message. You will find me again as Master. It's just the way we set it up. If I put Adrian, it'll be confusing because we might have Adrians here. So, Master, you see a blue envelope next to my name, and you want to click on that, and then we can get into some practice with each other. All right, let's do this. Let's start with let's start with Chayani here at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to hop around. We've got lots of time, students, so hang in there. Chayani, are you ready? And I will give you a band score estimate. So I have examined hundreds, probably thousands of students for their speaking. So I will give you a band score estimate that's very accurate to what most examiners will give you. And then I will give you some tips about your speaking on how to improve. I know that speaking another language is challenging. I speak two other languages myself, so I respect all of our volunteers for putting your hearts out there and being brave and volunteering. Okay, Chayani says, yes, sir. All right, Chayani. Oh, let me put my headphones on so I can hear you. Here we go.
Hello, Sir Ardian.
Hi, Chayani. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing good as well. Thanks for asking. Chayani, can you just tell all of our new viewers where you are in the world and why you are taking the IELTS exam?
Okay. Right now, I settle in Indonesia, exactly in South Tangerang City, and I'm aiming for study abroad to get my bachelor degree of biotechnology in Australia.
Sounds fantastic. So will you visit the Great Barrier Reef while you're there?
Yeah, probably, sir.
Absolutely, right? Why
Yeah,
not? Sure, I would definitely go check that out if I were anywhere nearby.
yeah.
All right. Chayani, let's get into this a little bit. So I will ask you some part 3 questions. Give me some answers. I will take some notes and then give you some feedback. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay, here we go. So that is the end of part 2. We will now continue with part 3. For this part, I will ask you some questions related to the topic of part 2. Let's talk about adventure travel. Why do people like going on adventures to faraway
Uh,
places?
I think they want have great great distances to take a break from a heavy problem for their relative life. Just going away 100 kilometer away and get a new experience in the new place. It's kind of like I wanted to travel far away from my country to National Dujuta Park in Australia to enjoy the scenery of the sunrise in there. It's kind of like fascinating and pacify my mind from the problem.
Is it possible to have adventures locally?
Of course, it is as a possible way because take a break to the uh, local place that most of them spend their sa- spare time. It's kind of like close, and then probably it is reasonable for the visitors to pay the tuition fee. Maybe I can take the example from the national park in my city. It is kind of like reasonable for the visitor, so
Okay,
it can.
let's stop there. The examiner will definitely interrupt you if your example keeps going and going and going. Chayani, you have to keep those examples
Okay.
short. Okay. All right, but you're thinking in the right way. So let me give you a bit of feedback here. First of all, your band scores. So Chayani, I would score your 2 answers here in part 3. Now, keep in mind, everybody, that part 3 is the most challenging. So that's where people tend to lose the most marks. A lot of IELTS candidates go into part 3 with a solid band 7.58, and then they come out with a 6 or a 6.5 after part 3 because part 3 is challenging. And Chani, that would, these answers so far would score you at about a band 6 to 6.5. Although your common everyday English is much better. I think it's a band 7.5, even maybe an 8. It's these specific topics where you have to practice lots, okay?
Okay,
So
sir.
I think Chani, in part 1 you're okay. You're doing fantastic. Part 3 you want to really focus on these questions, really get into these specific topics in English. Let me tell you why. So your fluency is quite good. You talk continuously without stopping. Coherence is quite good. I understand what you're saying, but there is quite a bit of awkward English, lack of vocabulary to express ideas clearly, and your answers are somewhat disconnected in some ways. I will explain with what you said. So I asked you, why do people like going on adventures in faraway places? You said, I think they so careful with those little nuances, want to have great distances. Want to have great distances. To have is not the best word choice here. I think they want to go or travel or fly. Okay. So have is a bit awkward. I think they want to go great distances to take a break from having problems from their relative life.
Or even want to move.
Yeah, so I as soon as I reflect it back to you, you're starting to feel like, yeah, that's a bit like you get it, but it's a bit weird to say it that way, right?
Yeah.
So I like the take a break. Okay, the take a break I thought was good. It's the rest of it that we need to change. So to take a break from everyday problems. Okay.
Okay.
Simplify. Let's just fix this sentence and try it one more time, Chayani. And this repetition work is for everybody, so everybody can repeat here. I'm going to read the correct sentence and then just repeat me, Chayani, okay?
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think people want to fly great distances for adventure to take a break from everyday problems.
I think people want to fly to great distances to take a break from everyday problems.
Much better. Okay, so that composition you can get a band 8, band 9. The previous one, band 6, 7. Okay, and then you said just going 100 kilometers. Let's change that to 1,000 because we're talking about great distances. 100 is okay, but you want to be, you want to have emphasis in your communication. So you said just going 1,000 kilometers away and get a new experience in a new place. It's a bit redundant. So new experience, new place. Yeah, okay. Everyday common English, that would be fine. But on IELTS, you're trying to show expert English, right? So you really have to work hard to not repeat words and speak in a kind of professional, beautiful way. So, and it's not just going, right? Because just is not far away. So going 1,000 kilometers away to get new experiences in unfamiliar places is a great way to let go of stress and have a fun time or have an amazing time. Okay? And then you go with that example. Just like me, I want to travel far away. And remember what I said about this, Chani, pacify my mind. In all of my English experience around the world, I have never heard that expression used in that way. Although I can understand it, to me it's awkward because it's weird to want to pacify. Like it doesn't sound positive. Pacifying your mind, it almost sounds negative, like you want to escape from humanity, and it just sounds kind of awkward. So I wouldn't word it that way, okay?
Relax my mind.
Just relax. Relaxing is relaxing your mind, okay? So it's just like me. I want to travel far away to Australia and relax, and that's it, okay? No, we simplify that. We don't want to complicate the word relax because that would not be relaxing, right? So
Okay, got it, sir.
keep it simple, right? Relax is relax. Yeah. A lot of people make that mistake. They say unwind myself. That's also really weird. Just unwind. So go to Australia and unwind, or go to Australia and relax. Can you repeat after me? I want to go to Australia and relax.
I want to travel to Australia and relax.
I want to go to Australia and unwind.
And I want to go to Australia and unwind.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Now, another quick tip. So I'm taking a little bit of extra time here with Chayani so that everybody learns a couple of really important strategies for your part 3. The next question, it's a follow-up question, right? Because the IELTS part 3 always has these follow-up questions like... the first question is traveling far away, and then no surprise here we have kind of the opposite, locally, right? So is it possible to have adventures locally? It means in your town, in your neighborhood. And Chayani, you said, yes, of course, right?
Yeah. To be honest, I was terrible understanding the question.
I like your honesty. I felt that. So I was like, I don't know if Chayani really knows where she's going with this answer. And then you kind of did. Suddenly you went to an example and then you're like, well, maybe I can take the example of going to a park near my home, right?
Right.
That was good, but it was late. Okay, so ideally, in a perfect situation in the real IELTS exam, you remember the park a little bit faster. Okay, so you remember local adventures a little bit faster. And then thinking about that example, you can answer the question. Let me give you an example. So just a 5-minute walk from my home, there's a nice big swimming pool and it has water slides and a diving board. So I have this example in my head, right? And from that example, right away, a local adventure, I can answer it. So yes, of course, there are many places nearby a person's home to have an exciting time. Like going to the local swimming pool and jumping from a 10-meter diving board. This is what I do when I want an adrenaline rush and a mini adventure. Okay, so can you repeat this after me, Chayani? And again, repetition is for everybody. So is it possible to have an adventure locally? Yes, of course. There are many places nearby a person's home to have an exciting time, like going to the swimming pool and jumping from a diving board. This is what I do when I want an adrenaline rush. I go to Crystal Pool and jump off a 10-meter diving board. Okay, doesn't have to be the exact same words, Chayani, just the concept has to be the same, okay? So is it possible to have adventures locally?
Yes, of course. There are many closest place to have an exciting time, like going to the local swimming pool and jumping from a 10-meter diving board. This is what I do when I want an adrenaline rush and a mini adventure.
Okay, good. So if you're stuck for ideas, if you're stuck for explanations, think of an example. And then based on your example, you can go back. And you got there, Chayani, so you did get there, but it was just a little bit too late, right, with the park. So a little bit faster, and then you'll make more sense. If you're not able to remember this strategy quickly, Chayani, what should you do?
Just explain the example.
But if you're not able to remember this, then what can you do? What you can do is you can ask for time. You can say, well, let me think for a second. Yeah, of course. And then during that time where you're thinking, you can ask for time to think, right? And especially in part 3 for a couple of questions where you're kind of stuck. And then you can think, oh yeah, the park, the example, and then you go. Do you see what I'm saying? You get it? So you ask for time. So you ask for time. You're like, oh, just give me a moment to think about that, right? It's totally normal to do that, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right, Chayani, keep it up. Practice that part 3. Do you have a question for me?
Yeah. If I'm not using offensive word, is that okay?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a very important question, and there are actually a few videos from some other big IELTS teachers on YouTube out there as well talking about this, and we all agree, everybody agrees, IELTS examiners agree, you don't have to use really fancy words to get a good band score in IELTS speaking or writing. What's much, much more important is that you're using words correctly, okay? Does that make sense?
Sir.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Have a nice day.
Bye, Chayani. All right, let's give Chayani a thumbs up. She was with me there for a while to help me explain some critical points, and that's important, okay? So pay attention to that. All right, let's take some more volunteers here. Afzal, I don't think we've had Afzal. Let's try a new volunteer here. Afzal says, hey, master, I'm ready. Okay, Afzal, are you there? If you are, let me know and we'll jump into a couple of questions. We want to have returning students. Of course, we want to have premium students, and we want to have new students as well. Try this out. This is for everybody. So Afzal, I don't know if we've interacted before. I don't think we have, but we'll soon find out. Okay, Afzal. Hi, Afzal.
Hi, hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm doing good now.
Good.
Like time connecting with you. So I'm a
Good.
little bit, yeah, excited too.
This is the first time you're volunteering, right, Afzal?
Exactly.
Nice. Well, good for you. A big thumbs up just for that, just for taking that first brave step towards adventure
Yes.
online. You're having a local online adventure by volunteering in a big live class on YouTube, right?
Yes, kind of. Yes.
So you can even have an adventure in your very own living room or bedroom, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right,
Exactly.
Afzal. Well, I'm happy you're here with me. Afzal, can you tell everybody where you are in the world right now?
I'm based in India. So currently I'm based out in uh, southeastern of India. So yeah,
Southeastern region of
region.
India. Okay. And why are you taking the IELTS exam?
I'm taking as for pursuing masters. So my priority is uh, first is like UK. So yeah,
Okay. May I ask what you are focusing on in your master's?
yeah, absolutely. Focusing on masters in computer science.
Computer science. Can you be more
Yeah.
specific? Computers are extremely broad field these days. So, what part of computer science?
Yeah. So nowadays, like AI and ML is like kind of uh, more trend topics. So I have chosen those like mainstreams in my masters
Okay.
to do. Yeah.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of people focusing on AI, which of course is artificial intelligence. And there are so many people focusing on AI. I have a feeling that I might actually live to see the day of the first truly thinking, conscious, self recognizing computer. That would be exciting. All right, Afzal. Well,
Yeah.
let me help you on your journey. I will ask you some
Absolutely.
part three questions and just give me some nice full sentence answers. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready, sir.
All right, here we go. So let's talk about adventure travel. What should people do to stay safe if they go on adventures?
Uh, when people go for any adventure, they generally uh, pack their I mean equipments for their uh, for their any kind of uh, adventure activity, and also they prepare their foods for their uh, any kind of things like which they can eat and enjoy at the same time. And the thing is that like when they go to any adventure places like mountaineering or somewhere like where they can uh, actually uh, feel the nature outside, so that is why actually they also like go there. And also like I can say last time I went to uh, mount sorry
What
hills
could be
like
possible
yeah.
dangers on such expeditions?
uh, there is no such dangerous situation in expedition, but there is chances like somebody can have less equipment to use in their adventure. So maybe with less equipment, then can make trouble in there sometime. I would say.
Okay, I will stop there for a second and reflect on your responses. So, good work. It's your first time volunteering, which makes it more stressful. You're a bit more nervous, but that's one of the very important reasons to do this, is because people have that in the real exam. So one of the biggest reasons a lot of candidates lose marks in IELTS speaking, especially, is because they're very nervous and they're having difficulty speaking. It's hard to speak when a person's nervous, even in their own language, yet alone another language, right? So getting over the jitters, as they say, so getting over the jitters, getting over that nervousness is very, very important, and you do that through practice, okay? So at this point, your band score would be about a band 5.5. The reason why is because you're lacking fluency and coherence. That's the main reason. So you're kind of getting stuck with your ideas, you're getting stuck with your words, and your answers aren't making a lot of sense for the examiner. So I understand that you're talking about the importance of equipment, but I'm not sure exactly what. Here in the second question, you told me that there's no such dangerous situation on expeditions, which is very counterintuitive. So it's kind of the opposite of what I would expect. I mean, I think there's, you just told me about going to the mountains, and I'm thinking, like, really, there's no danger when you go to the mountains? What if you fall off the cliff, or a rock hits you in the head, or get lost in the mountains? So I think there's quite a few different dangerous possibilities hiking in the mountains. So it's just really awkward and counterintuitive to hear that beginning. So it's confusing. So what you want to do is lots of practice, build the confidence, and then just give clear answers. Okay, let me help you a little bit here. We'll practice some.
Certainly.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. So what should people do to stay safe if they go on adventures? I liked your start. You started well. You gave me a conditional. So when people go for any adventure, and then it started to get a bit strange, keep your language simpler. Again, it was that question by Chayani where she asked, do I need to use really complicated vocabulary? And especially in India, there's this really weird idea that you need all this fancy vocabulary for IELTS. No, it's one reason why a lot of people actually get low marks. They're using it poorly. So keep it simple, okay? Use vocabulary you know. So when people go for any adventure, they must make sure they have all of the equipment for their journey. Okay, now it's a good idea to think of at least 2 points, okay? What is another point to pay attention to besides checking the equipment when a person goes on a journey? So you check all your equipment. What else should you do? Like if you go, for example, and keep that example in mind, that was a good thought. So going to the mountains. So let's say that you go to the Himalayas, to the mountains for hiking with your friend. You're going to check your equipment. What else are you going to do? I guarantee you will do a couple more steps to stay safe. What else will you do when you go to the mountains? Keep your thoughts simple. What else will you do?
I will I'm not actually able to recall. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help you, and I encourage everybody to practice and volunteer. That's why I'm here. Okay, so one other very important step, and I'm sure we all hear this, is to tell someone where you're going, right? Just in case you get lost or problems happen, somebody knows where to look for you, right? You should never go hiking in the forest, especially alone, without telling somebody where you go, okay?
Yeah.
If you ever watch that movie, 175 Hours, you'll never go on an adventure without telling somebody first. So,
Exactly.
right? I think a lot of people know that movie that I'm talking about. So, okay. So also, it's very important to tell friends and family where a person is going, just in case they get lost or need help. Now, I know in the chat there's probably some people giving us some useful idea, like Shaknaz is suggesting take a first aid kit in case, of injury, right? That's also a very good idea. At least take a few Band-Aids with you, right? So in case you get a cut, then you can put it on the bleeding, right? Do research, right? I bet if you go hiking in the Himalayas, you're going to at least look it up online on the internet and see what people say about it, right? So do research before to learn of the possible dangers. Okay. All right. Now, these are just some tips to improve. Okay. So think of a couple ideas, keep your thoughts simple, and then go to the example, right? Like going on an adventure in the Himalayas. It is a good idea to take a helmet, hiking boots, and tell a person about the exact trail that the hiker is going on. Okay? All right, let's do a little bit of repetition work here. Again, repetition work is for everybody. So once I repeat this answer, just copy after me. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, here we go. So again, the question was, what should people do to stay safe if they go on adventures? When people go for any adventure, they must make sure they have all of the necessary equipment for their journey. Also, it's important to tell friends and family the destination, just in case they get lost, and to do some research about the possible dangers, like going on an adventure in the Himalayas. It's a good idea to take a helmet, a pair of hiking boots, and tell someone the exact trailhead the hiker is going on. What should people do to stay safe if they go on adventures?
When people go for an adventure, they must make sure that they have all of the equipments for their journey. Also, it is very important to tell friends, their family, most importantly, where a person is going, just in case they'll get lost or need help. So do research before to learn of the possible dangers, like going on an adventure in the Himalayas. It is a good idea to take a helmet, hiking boots, and tell a person about the exact trail that the hiker is going on.
Okay, nice, good. So, and I could tell there that you were really trying hard to just repeat without reading, and you were doing a really good job. So I can tell that when you have the right content, your band score goes from a 5.5, all the way up to a band 7. Okay, so you really have to focus on confidence and content before you get to your IELTS exam, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, otherwise you're doing
Thank
a
you so much.
fantastic job, Afzal. So keep it up and keep practicing, keep coming back, and I will continue to help you when I get the chance, okay?
Thank you so much for being with me. Like, I will definitely do my best next time.
I'm sure you'll do even better. Bye for now, Afzal.
Yeah, bye bye.
All right, let's give Afzal a thumbs up. I think he was doing a fantastic job. And yeah, it's challenging, especially the first time. Let's see if we can reach out to somebody else here. Let's try one of our premium students here. Let's try Rahim Jan. Rahim Jan, if you're there, let me see. Rahim Jan, I have to reload my page here. I've lost connection while I was talking to Afzal, so I'm just going to reload and do the same, reload the page, and then Rahim Jan, I'm going to be looking for you. Okay, I'm going to send you an invite here. So Rahim Jan, if you're there with me, just reload your page, refresh it, and I will ping you, okay? Because I saw that you volunteered. I can see everybody joining back up. So yeah, again, if you lose the connection, students, there's just a lot going on here with servers, and we've got so many students linking up. And then just do a quick refresh on the chat page like I just did. You'll see everybody load back up, and then we'll connect with each other. So Rahman Jan, if you're still there, yep, there you are. I can see you. Cool. Okay, there you are. Hi, sir. Good. Rahim John, are you there? I hear that you picked up. I don't hear your voice quite yet. All right, Rahim John, check out your connection. I'm going to try another student, and then I'll circle back to you. If the situation's on my end, then I'll fix it, but I think it might be on your side. So check it out, and I'll circle back, okay? Let me try Dewey here. Dewey, are you ready for a couple of questions? See if Dewey's ready. And in the meantime, again, students, you might just need to do a refresh if you're having trouble connecting. Okay. All right.
Hi, Adrian.
Hi, Dewey. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking.
Awesome.
Great to see you.
Good to hear your voice as well. Dewey, let me introduce you real quick to our viewers. Dewey is an engineer originally from Vietnam, but currently located in Paris, France. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dewey. So far, so good?
So far, so good, yes.
All right. And if I remember correctly, you are doing the IELTS exam just to prove to yourself that you have some good English skills and potentially for using it in the future. Is that correct?
Exactly. I mean, I speak French on a daily basis, and I don't have to use English much, to be honest. But it's kind of a goal that I set for myself to reach. And
yeah,
that's what I'm doing.
And speaking English along with French, I mean, I'm Canadian, so we have these two languages as our national language. The French and the English have a very closely connected history, and English, in fact, modern day English uses a lot of French as well. So German and French basically are the roots of English. So it's a fun language to add for sure. Okay, Dewey, let me get into some of these part 3 questions about adventure. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, then here we go. Let's talk about planning for the future. Why is it important for people to plan their international travels well ahead?
I think mostly because this is going to be a long haul flight away from their home. So they're going to be in a foreign environment that they haven't been there before. So there's going to be a lot of surprises and a lot of new things they have to deal with. So it's always a good idea to plan yourself way ahead and prepare to bring with you some useful and necessary tools alongside with you.
What can happen if they plan last minute?
Well, a lot of things, because when you prepare for the last minute, the last second of your trip, you're gonna miss things and you're gonna forget to bring some important things with you. I have once forgotten my passport because I didn't prepare, and then when I got to the airport, I realized, but it was too late. So it's better to prepare yourself a long way before your trip.
Okay, let me stop there. All right. So, Dewey, first of all, let me give you a band score just on those two answers. Now, you've gotten some high band scores, and this wasn't one of those situations. This one would be about a band 7 to 7.5. And I know in the past I've said as high as I think maybe even 8.5 for you based on answers. And this is the trick, right? So IELTS, I mean, sometimes, especially when you get into these high band scores like 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, you want to build consistency, and you want to be able to produce those band 8 to 8.5s consistently, and that does take practice on a variety of different topics. So this is kind of an advice for all of those upper intermediate to advanced level speakers out there. practice a variety of topics, especially topics that may be unfamiliar for you, so that you can consistently reach that band 8, 8.5 mark. I will get into the exact reason for this band 7 to 7.5 here, Dewey, so that we can learn from it. Let me see if any of our regular viewers can identify a couple of the main mistakes that you made in this speaking. Let's see. Any of our regular viewers, what do you think will be a couple of points that I will identify right away for Dewey? And Dewey, if you know what I'm going to point out as sources of losing marks, you can let me know as well.
I think for the first question, I think I have missed to point out an example to illustrate my point.
That was kind of a situation or a problem, but there were a couple other bigger problems. There's one specifically, and I think a couple people caught it. In using words like gonna is okay. It's natural English, or wanna. But Karina says using the word things, and Prerna says using the word you. Yeah, those unfortunately destroy communication. Even if you're a native speaker and you switch to using you and things, the communication falls apart because it becomes unclear, confusing, it lacks detail. Let me show you this specifically, okay? And it's hard to get out of. That's the biggest danger. Let me show you what happens. So I asked you, why is it important for people to plan their international travels well ahead? You stayed away from saying you switched to using things here at the end of that response there. And then you kind of, I felt that you weren't sure about what to say. And that's when this happens. That's when we tend to jump to the you, when we start to get frustrated. And then we say, you need to do this, you need to do that. And that's where it all started. You said you need to bring necessary tools alongside you. And I only wrote down 2 of them, but I think you used the word you about 5 or 6 times in a row. It became very frequent. And then no surprise, when I asked you the second question, Dewey, what can happen if they plan last minute? You stayed with the you. You're going to plan last minute. This is what's going to happen to you. You're going to miss things. And don't get me wrong, everybody, using you in everyday communication is okay. So, Dewey, when you're speaking to your friends or your colleagues casually during lunch break, saying you're going to do this, this is going to happen to you, totally fine. People do it all the time. But it's not a Band 8, Band 9 level communication. Does that make sense?
Okay, so I guess you have to use like a third person?
Third person, specific pronouns, or if you're switching to the example, switch to the personal, because you don't know your listener, so you can't speak about his or her experiences. You can only speak about yours. And when we use I, me, my, then we're able to switch back to the third person. The problem with the second person, so what Dewey is saying here is we have 3 voices of the speaker or the author in writing, first, second, third. When we switch to the second person means we're speaking about the listener, so you do this, you do that. We have trouble switching out of the second person. We get stuck with the second person. So that's the big danger there, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, Dewey, I think you can do a better job because I know you have good English. So I'm not going to give you an example here. I'm going to force it out of you, Dewey. I'm going to ask you these 2 questions again, and I want you to answer them. You've had some more time to think about them, and just avoid saying you and things, okay?
Okay.
Ready to give it another shot?
I'll try, yeah.
All right.
I can't promise you it's going to be better, but I'll try.
All right. Well, just focus on not saying you and not saying things, okay? All right, here we go. So instead think about, I'll help you a little bit more. So think about specific nouns that work better than those pronouns, like tourists, travelers, people, individuals, okay? So here we go. Why is it important for people to plan their international travels well ahead?
I think mostly because when people travel far away from their house, they're gonna experience a new experience for the first time in their life. So it's always a good idea to people and tourists to prepare themselves way ahead, and and then remember to bring with them the necessary documents and necessary tools along with them for their trip.
Okay, good. All right. Now, you slowed your speech. You were very methodical there. And even though it seems like you were less fluent than when I first asked you the question, it's still a better answer because you're not switching to that second person voice, okay?
Okay.
One way, Dewey, to help your fluency along is always think both qualitative and quantitative. So when I mean quantitative, I mean numbers. And again, I hope people are taking notes here because these are strategies to keep in mind for part 3. Quantitative means numbers. So in this question, Dewey, what could be a number that could help your fluency here?
I think maybe prepare themselves for at least 2 months ahead of their trip.
Nice. Okay, good. Excellent. Very good. So 2 months ahead of the trip. All right. And when you use a number like that, it can often remind you of the benefits of preparing in advance. So if I buy my plane ticket 2 months before my flight, what is one of the most common benefits of that?
And then tourists will get a cheaper price for their tickets.
How much cheaper?
Like 50% cheaper.
Okay, good. Notice how one begets the other. So as soon as you think quantitatively, not only do you have more fluency, but you're also getting more ideas, right? Because suddenly you realize, oh yeah, if I buy tickets 2 months in advance, I'm saving at least 20 to 30%, up towards 300-400 euros if I'm flying as far away as Australia, right? So you're getting a lot of good ideas following those quantitative numbers, and you're building that fluency. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, thank you very much for your advice.
Okay, great. Dewey, keep it up. Follow those steps. So stay with the more accurate third-person pronouns. Remember quantification for the questions, and that will help you reach that Band 8 consistently, okay?
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Keep it up. Bye, Dewey.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was Dewey from France. Fantastic. Dewey is really good in English. So yeah, it's you know, when especially those Band 8, Band 9s, we are certainly focusing on both communication strategies as well as language strategies, right? So let's try Kenjayeva. We haven't heard from Kenjayeva in a while, and Kenjayeva says, I want to try. So, okay, Kenjayeva, are you ready? I think Kenjayeva is getting ready for her exam here quite soon, if I remember correctly. Are you ready? Also, I'm always looking for new students. So, Bimla, I can see you're a premium student. I don't see you volunteering. Bimla, send me a message. Hit that blue button next to my handle. I'm listed as master. If you can't do it, then let me know. You should be able to. Okay. Kenjayeva, here we go. Hello, Kenjayeva. I don't hear your voice.
Hi, sir.
Now I hear your voice. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. What about you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling healthy after a long period of flus and colds, and I think a lot of people have had that, so I'm finally feeling good. How are you feeling, Kenjayeva?
Not bad. I'm trying.
Any adventures in the near future?
Probably no, because I'm preparing for my IELTS exam, so maybe after that, yeah.
IELTS exam is kind of an adventure, Kenjayeva. Most people get pretty nervous or stressed, or, you know, they go through the same types of emotional responses as we do on an adventure. No, don't you think?
Yeah,
I mean,
might be.
what makes an adventure, right? And, you know, this brings me to an important point, Kenjayeva. When you're doing the IELTS exam and, you know, when you're faced with these topics, one way to be fluent, aside from what I was telling Dewey with quantification and thinking about those pronouns, is to also think broadly and from different perspectives about the topic of discussion. So here really the topic is adventure, right? And when this topic comes up, cleverly, the candidate should think about what is the definition of adventure. So in your mind, Kenjayeva, what is the definition of adventure?
excitement.
Okay, try to be a try to be a little bit more definitive than one word. Okay, so what is an adventure?
Like experiencing new feelings, going to the like new places, or how to say, maybe discovering new things for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now you're starting. So see how as soon as I prompted you, your brain started to turn and twist and think about, okay, well, what is an adventure, right? How do I correctly define adventure, right? And this is where at home, when you're studying for the IELTS, you may want to define it in both your own language and in English and see what you come up with. So if you were to ask me, I would say that adventure is a series of new or old experiences which create strong emotions of excitement, fear, joy, and often have some sort of a goal in mind, like reaching a destination or achieving a reward, like a band 9 on the IELTS exam. And that's why I think IELTS itself could be considered a form of educational adventure. You see what I mean, Kenjaiba?
Yeah, I feel like Google just answered me.
Did you Google adventure?
Nope.
Oh, you thought I was Google.
Yeah, because it's usual answers like this. I mean, you are like so smooth and with explanations.
I often ask Google things. I have Google Assistant in my home, and we don't always agree. But maybe you're right, Kenjaiba. Okay, let me ask you a couple of questions, and then give me some full sentence answers, okay? Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's do this. So let's talk about planning for the future. Why is it important for people to plan their international travels well ahead?
Well, I think by planning beforehand, people will be able to know the places, interesting places that they are going. Also, it will save their time. I mean, they don't have to spend their time to know like what to do after after they finish some kind of activity.
What are some good tools that people can use to plan their schedules ahead of time?
Well, give me a second to think some. I think maybe their notebook and pen to write their to-do list, or map of the country or cities that they are going. So just in case if they get lost, it might help them.
Can you give an example?
Yeah, like I used to travel to the Turkey a lot, and when I did this, I usually did my to-do list, and also took a map of the country, and it really helped me a lot, because there was once I get lost and didn't know what to do, and I used my map, and it was like pretty easy to find the way home.
Okay, good. That is the end of part 3. That concludes the speaking of the IELTS exam. Okay, I'm going to give you some feedback. So, score-wise, I would say a solid 7.5 potentially. So, focus on fluency, focus on content. Your vocabulary is fine. Focus a little bit more on grammatical range. So especially try to use some, present perfect. I have traveled to Turkey and I have been lost, and it was really good that I had taken a map with me. And use connectives to make your language flow a little bit smoother, Kenjaiba. But overall, you're doing fantastic. So I think that these elements that I'm telling you to improve on, they will come with practice. Okay, so lots of practice. Find the easy route to your answer. I was a little bit surprised that you went with such a traditional concept as a map. When I think of taking a map with me to help me on my travels as a tool, for me, another device comes to mind these days.
Phone, yeah.
What is it, Kenjaiba?
A phone?
A phone? All right. Kenjaeva, I really want you to speak to me in full sentences and tell me why. Just be preemptive. Right. So a smartphone, because give me a nice full answer. So let me ask this one more time. What are some good tools that people can use to plan their schedules ahead of time?
Maybe it might be their phone because it's more reliable and it's like more safe because it's not like a little thing that might be easy to lost. Also, it also might help them to like gain information about the country that they are going.
Okay, not bad. Now, always think positive, not negative. So think about what the phone does instead of what it doesn't do, okay? Or think about what it's capable of rather than what something else is not capable of. I'm going to use your answer. I'm going to expand on it. I'm not going to write it, okay? And this is for everybody. I'm purposefully not writing this answer. I want you to just do this from listening, okay? So immediately, one of the most useful tools for people to plan their calendar is their smartphone, simply because it has a lot of software to assist with this, such as Google Calendar, and it even sends notifications and reminders like what time to leave for the airport and what to take with the person, such as passport and the right type of currency. Some other necessary equipment might be safety tools that I've mentioned before, like having hiking boots. For instance, when going to the Himalayas. In this way, we can ensure that the person has a fun and enjoyable time in the future. Kenjaeva, what are some good tools that people can use to plan their schedules ahead of time?
Oh my gosh, should I repeat all of these things?
Yeah, and be even better than me, because the boots doesn't make sense for planning schedule. Focus on the phone and focus on the positive aspect of the phone.
All right, so I think the best item to plan people's schedule might be their phone, because our phone has a lot of like softwares, also programs that might be useful on our travel. When I have traveled to the Turkey, once I got lost and I used my Google Map to find where I am and find a way to back my home.
Stop there. Okay, stop there. And find my way back home. Just stop there. Don't overspeak. Just stop there. And now you've moved your band score up to a band 8. Okay, so that's your band 8. All right, even though we're kind of going off topic because we're talking about planning schedules and I talked about boots too, it's still at the band 8 level because you started right, you started specific, you had good connection, good fluency. It just made a lot of sense, right? So a pen and paper to write down the to-do list, that would have been a very nice second one to include as well, which you said the first time. But overall, that was very good, okay? So that's where the examiner is thinking that's very good English. And you feel it, right? You feel that difference from the band 7 to the band 8. Do you feel that difference, Kenjaeva?
Yeah, of course, immediately.
Okay, right? And I think everybody else hears that as well. So notice the kind of practice that we're doing here also, and this is important for everybody to pay attention to. So rather than asking new questions, different questions, and continuously repeating a band 7 level response, what we're doing is we're targeting the same question. We're targeting the answer, we're identifying the mistake, and then we're figuring out ways to make it better and better. And I think that's what a lot of people who are preparing for the IELTS need to do, because I think a lot of people, they just keep looking at new questions instead of looking at the same question and just doing a better job. Do you get what I'm saying, Kenjaeva?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, all right, so that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Kenjaeva, thank you so much for helping me emphasize these valuable points for all of our learners. And do it this way, okay? Especially at your level. Just keep targeting the same question and just keep focusing on doing a better and better job, okay?
Yeah, thank you. I'll try.
Okay, bye, Kenjaeva.
Bye.
All right, let's give her a thumbs up. I think Kenjaeva is from either Kazakhstan or Uzbekistan. She can correct me in the chat. I think Uzbekistan. That would be my guess, but maybe not. All right, let's take somebody else. Let's try another person here. Let's go through our list. Again, if you've been disconnected, just reconnect by refreshing the page. Let's see if we can find another new person. I love the thumbs up in the chat, by the way. Let's try Rohan. For everybody who's watching, we're using our website, aehelp.com. Rohan, are you there? I love the name, by the way. One of my favorite names, Rohan. All right, Rohan, if you're there, let me know. Okay, and we'll give it a go here. All right. So students, again, this is aehelp.com. I'll put the link for the website. You need to sign up for either the premium or the free course to use the chat. aehelp.com. There, I put the link in the chat. There was a few people asking me, how do I sign up? Where do I go? Okay, that's how you sign up. Rohan, if you're there, let me know. I don't hear a response, so I'm guessing you may have left the chat. All right, let's see if we can find somebody else. Prerna is in our classes regularly, but I don't think we've talked much. So Prerna, are you there? Let's see if Prerna is there. Okay. Oh, and we have Aman, who's a premium student that we might not have spoken to yet, which is great. All right, Prerna, yes, you are. Okay, great. Hi, Prerna.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Prerna, have we talked before?
Yes, sir. We
Wha-
have talked once before.
One time. That's what I was thinking. One time. Right. Well, I'm happy you're back. Good for you. So I didn't scare you away then, right?
Yes, sir. No.
Okay, good. All right. Prerna, can you tell everybody why you're taking the IELTS?
Sir, because I'm planning for my master's and IELTS is one of the requirement.
It's the requirement, yes, because it's the mode of communication. All right. So let's do this, Prerna. Are you ready for some questions?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Let's talk about adventure travel. Why do people like going on adventures in faraway places?
I think people like to go to places which are away from their houses so that they can enjoy the journey while traveling, and they can also get some cultural differences there. Like I visited certain part of my country for a vacation because it has a lot of different language, like from the place where I live.
What should people do to stay safe if they go on adventures?
I think, in my opinion, people start with making a survival kit which has all the required tools to be safe when they are on adventure. Like for camping, people make a survival kit which has mosquito repellent and a first aid kit with them.
Let's talk about planning for the future. Why is it important for people to plan their international travels well ahead?
The most important reason for this is because international travel is expensive, and people want to use all their resources for the better. And if they are planning it accordingly, they can enjoy each and every aspect of that land in their on their budget. So
Okay.
I think this is the
That
reason.
is the end of part 3. Good. Okay, careful not to overspeak, right? So a little bit faster to the point, and they won't interrupt you. You're doing a fantastic job, Prerna. Prerna, that's awesome. You're better this time than last time. I can feel you're gaining confidence. So you were focusing more on your answers this time, and it shows. I could tell there's a bit more confidence in your voice, a bit more wind beneath your wings, as they say, a bit more wind beneath your wings. Good. So your band score, 7.5 to 8, close to 8. I would be leaning towards the very good mark of band 8. Why is that? Well, because you're fluent, you're using fantastic vocabulary, really nice connection of ideas. So you're using a lot of good connectives to make sure that you're giving me a clear, complete idea. So you said, I think people like to go to places which are far away. So right away, you're showing me an adjective clause here. So they can. You're giving me cause and effect. Enjoy the journey, and because. So you're giving me, again, cause and effect using subordinating conjunction instead of the coordinating conjunction. And that first sentence was lovely. It was really well connected, very smooth, nice to listen to. Excellent job. Okay, that was really, really good. No grammatical mistakes. Now we went to the next question, which was, what should people do to stay safe when they go on adventures? You said, I think, in my opinion, you had a little bit of a tough start, but then you got an idea and you went with it. You said people start with making a survival kit. I kind of smiled at first. I'm like, okay, so if I go on a trip, I have to do a survival kit. Like, am I preparing to die every time But then you gave me a really good explanation, which I thought made a lot of sense, and I thought that was good. You said to stay safe when they're on adventure, and then you jumped right into the example. You said, like for camping. I love how you didn't say for example or for instance. You just said, like for camping, they must take a first aid kit and mosquito repellent. That was just a fantastic word to throw into the mix. Are you scared of mosquitoes, Pirna?
Yes, sir. I hate them.
I hate them. I know there's a saying, if God loves humans so much, why did he make mosquitoes?
Yes, sir. I've heard that.
So yeah, we don't like mosquitoes, and definitely if you're in a place where there are a lot of mosquitoes, taking mosquito repellent is a good idea. Yeah, mosquito repellent. I thought, that was brilliant that you were able to throw that in. And it's that kind of visualization and specific example which can really help you to bump your score up, right? Because it prompts good vocabulary. So really nice.
Yes,
a little bit more fluency, a little bit more confidence in your voice, and you'll be right up at that 8.5, maybe even a perfect 9. Okay, so just keep practicing. I think you have the right ideas for your strategies. So it's just a lot of practice, practice. Okay?
Yes. Sir, my speaking test is on Monday.
You'll do fantastic. Okay? As long as you do what you did today, you will do awesome. So I wish you the best of luck on your exam on Monday. Okay, Pirna?
Yes. Thank you so much, sir.
You're very welcome. Bye, Pirna.
Bye, sir.
All right. Let's give Pirna a thumbs up, and maybe, you can write good luck, Pirna, on your Monday exam. I'm sure that she'll be happy to get some encouragement. Aman. I love it. Aman says, take me. All right. Aman, are you ready? All right, look at that. Karina says, good luck. Pirna, Domenico says, Pirna, thumbs up, thumbs up. Nishani says, good luck. Good luck. Yes, absolutely, Pirna. We are all with you in spirit. I think you'll do just fantastic. Be yourself. Be confident. You've got great English. Aman, if you are there, let me know, and we will jump into a few questions here. Okay, there you are.
Hello, Andrew sir.
Hi, Aman. How are you?
I'm fantastic. You tell, sir.
Good. I'm doing good. Aman, is this the first time we're talking to each other?
Yes, first time I got that luckiest opportunity.
Good. And I see you're a premium student. Are you using the course every day?
Honestly, not. I'm using it on regular basis.
That was a loaded question. Do you know this? Do you know this in English? It's a loaded question. Loaded question means that I have an expectation. I mean, I hope that everybody uses it every day because that would be perfect. But most students are so busy, they don't get the chance. So it was a loaded question, Aman. I had a feeling you might say not every day, but I encourage you to do so. Okay, if you follow the plan, let me show you something, and this is for everybody here, real quick, because I see that there are a lot of you using the premium course. So if you go to the IELTS exam workbook study plans, here, let me just circle this. In that section, you have a 30 and a 60-day study plan. It's basically a PDF that tells you what you should do on what day. And if you print that out and put it beside your computer in your bedroom somewhere, that will kind of remind you like, okay, today I should watch this video. I should do this part of the course, right? So that's a good way to do it. Okay, Aman?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay.
I read all that.
Okay, so you read it, but you're still not doing it. All right, Aman. Well, let me encourage you. I'm happy that you're here today with me and you're practicing. Aman, before I get really heavy into it, where are you in the world?
I'm from India, and I reside in state Punjab.
In Punjab. Okay, and
Yes.
why are you taking IELTS?
I'm doing it to become an IELTS trainer at an center.
Oh, you want to be an IELTS trainer?
Yes, sir.
That is great. Okay, well, you're in the right place. I'm happy to have you here because I know I can give you really useful advice and strategies. Unfortunately, there are a lot of bad ideas that get popular sometimes in the world with IELTS. So it's good that you're with me. Okay, well, let me get into it. And then if you have a question, you can ask me after, okay? Are you ready, Aman?
Yes, sir. Sure.
All right, let's do it. So that is the end of part 2. Let's continue with part 3. Let's talk about adventure travel. Is it possible to have adventures locally?
Yes, it's possible because there are a lot of places around us. If we see a kept spare at one side our phone, the nature in the variety in landforms give us a lot of opportunities to enjoy it. As diversity in plantation, we can use our vehicle. If we can do off-roading in our fields. For example, in Punjab, there are a lot of agriculture work, a lot of places to do off-roading, and one can enjoy
What could
that
be
in
possible
whatever
dangers on such expeditions?
dangers. Are you mean problems with the adventures?
Sure.
If you lose the balance while you riding the bike, you can be in danger. So it is advisable that you keep all safety equipments with yourself. If your car stuck in mud, that creates a huge problem because it takes the help of another vehicle to get out of that that stuck. uh, Others that you, if you get any injuries, it takes so much time to heal that wound. And it is also, apart from
How
this,
can
is
we
also
avoid these dangers?
okay, by planning ahead that how we can deal with the our plan setup, how we take it safely. We need to keep things in mind from before that if this thing happen, what we will we do uh, to be best with your planning to get out of things easily if you stuck somewhere. um, get experience from YouTube or other experienced people that what problems happen with this case,
Okay, that is
with
the
this
end of
stunt.
part 3. All right, so I'm going to interrupt you there because that's exactly what the IELTS examiner will do if you keep talking and talking with no end. Which is very common, and that's one of the bad advices that are out there, Aman, is they tell people to just keep talking until the examiner interrupts them. That is definitely not a good idea, okay? Because it makes the conversation very awkward, very confusing, and when people keep talking, they often will go off topic and start giving other ideas. So all of those bring down the score. You know that the speaking section, it's marked on fluency and coherence. Coherence simply means how well can the examiner understand the answer and how understandable is the conversation, the entire speaking interview. When the examiner is always interrupting the candidate, it really brings down the coherence mark. And the coherence mark is the most important mark for the overall score. Because, of course, if we can't understand the speaker, then how can we say that they're good in English, right? Or good in any language, right? So you have to just stick with the answer, explanation, example, and then stop, okay, Aman?
Okay, sir.
So really stick to that strategy. All right. your band score for this would be about a band 5 to 5.5 because of the coherence. So you have some really good ideas. I like your ideas. I think you're full of good ideas. You have good visualization, so you have your content. It's just you're having difficulty organizing them in a clearly understandable, connected way. Let me jump back and show you a bit more specifically. So you're losing a lot of marks for coherence, you're losing a lot of marks for grammatical accuracy, for natural language, you're losing marks. I asked you the question, is it possible to have adventures locally? And you said, yes, it is possible because there are a lot of places around. And then I had trouble following you. So you said, if we see something, it gives us a lot of opportunities to enjoy it. And then you said, as well as diversity in plantation. And then you were talking about agriculture. And you said, for example, definitely the examiner will interrupt you. Okay, they will not be patient enough. So careful about that. I think what you were telling me is there are a lot of beautiful natural places like parks and agricultural lands which are great for adventure in the Punjab area. Was that what you were trying to tell me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so the trick to get a better band score is take a moment before you start speaking and really organize your thoughts. Okay, so yes, it is possible because there are a lot of places around individuals, especially in Punjab, that offer opportunities for exploration, such as visiting forests and agricultural lands for hiking or biking. Okay. And then just simply give an example. Instead of saying for example or for instance, don't say that, because a lot of examiners, as soon as they hear for example or for instance, they get scared. They're like, oh, this candidate is just going to talk. So instead of saying for example, for instance, don't scare the examiner with that. Just give it. Just say every weekend I go on a dirt bike adventure with my friend to a forest trail not far from my home. Okay? Does that make sense? So answer, explain, example, stop. All right? Aman?
Yes, sir. Absolutely, I got it.
Okay. All right. And avoid saying you and avoid saying things. So that was one of the points I brought up earlier, I think with Dewey, when he switched to that you, that second person voice, right? Like, what if your examiner is a 60-year-old woman? She might not be riding a motorbike in the forest, right? So if you say, when you ride your bike, you're going to have fun. We look at you like, you serious right now? So be careful, okay? All right, here we go. I'm going to say this. Just repeat after me, Aman. So yes, it is possible because there are a lot of places around individuals, especially in Punjab, that offer opportunities for exploring, and such as going to the forest or agricultural land for hiking or biking. Every weekend I go on a dirt bike adventure with my friend Kumar on a forest trail not far from my home. Is it possible to have adventures locally?
Yes, sir. We need to be creative to look
No,
at
give me the
things.
full answer. Repeat after me. Aman, just repeat this. I want you to repeat this. Try to repeat it without reading too much. So do you want me to say it one more time?
Yes, it is possible to enjoy things in our surroundings. We can visit forest, agriculture lands for hiking, for trying new things, such as on weekends we can use our vehicles to do adventure in with company of our friends. We can do new things and enjoy with our besties.
Okay. Better. So now your response is starting to have a beginning, middle, and end. Careful not to use the word things, okay? Instead of saying going and doing things, doing activities, exploring, okay? Every time you hear yourself use the word things, stop and replace it with a better word, okay? So don't use things. It's a zero value noun, all right? Okay, Aman, keep coming back. I'm going to continue helping you become the best IELTS trainer in the world. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, and I know you're working hard because I know it's quite late now in your part of the world. Aman, have an awesome rest of the weekend, and we'll talk again in the future, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right. Bye for
Okay.
now, Aman.
Thank you very much, sir. It's like dream to talk to you.
You're very welcome.
You are
Bye,
doing
Aman.
good, sir.
Thank you. Bye. All right, that was Aman. Let's give Aman a thumbs up. That was his first time volunteering, and that makes it difficult because, of course, anxiety gets in the way. Students, keep talking with each other. Use the premium course. Use the study plans. That's what they're there for. Okay. Sign up for the premium course. Aman, stick to that study plan. You can join the premium package by clicking this big red button that's just above my head there at aehelp.com, or for the general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. It's just right there. So definitely check it out. That's why we have it. It's for you to improve and be the best that you can be with English. Again, aehelp.com, gieltshelp.com. Tomorrow, I will host a class on Discord. I showed that link earlier in the chat, so check that out. I hope that all of you have an awesome rest of the weekend. I look forward to seeing many of you tomorrow in Discord. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. Keep up the good work, everybody. You're all beautiful people. Much love to all of you. Bye for now.